Welcome to the Memory and History channel. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on more videos like this one.
Outdoor portrait of a Japanese soldier photographed circa 1930 to 45. This image captures Japanese military personnel during the expansionist period leading to World War II. The soldier's uniform and bearing reflect Japan's militaristic culture that dominated the era. Group of samurai in Egypt photographed in 1864. These Japanese warriors traveled internationally during the late shogunate period. Their visit to Egypt represented Japan's opening to the world. The cultural clash between feudal samurai and ancient Egyptian civilization. Photograph of crowd during a Radio Windy outdoor concert at Ben Burn Park, Karori in 1978. Several patched New Zealand Black Power gang members throw up their gang sign, a raised clenched fist. Photographer Anis Westra captured this cultural moment documenting gang presence. A Macchi MC.202 Falgor, fighter from the 374th Squadron, 153rd Group of the Italian Air Force flies over Sicily in 1942. This sleek Italian fighter represented Italy's best aircraft during World War II. Bradley, Eisenhower, and Patton photographed in Nuremberg, Germany in April 1945. These legendary American generals led Allied forces to victory in Europe. Their presence in conquered Germany symbolized Nazi defeat. The military leaders surveyed the devastation they helped create through total warfare. A crashed Japanese Kyushu K-9W trainer at a Manchuria airfield in August 1945. This licensed German Buckaroo 131 Youngman sits destroyed. In the background left appears a Japanese Type 99 Tachikawa Ki-55 advanced trainer. I have this WW2SS photo and want information about it. Without additional context or visible details, identifying specific SS units or personnel remains challenging. Historical photographs require careful analysis. Please provide more details about the image's provenance, location, or markings. Registration slips of two German Fräuleins checked by T/4 Nick Kellen from Woodstock, Michigan as they passed through Monshaw, Germany outskirts on October 16, 1944. Slips identified them as Carolina Rader and Johanna Kirch. Allied forces monitored civilian movements carefully. We are the partisans who shot German troops. Soviet underground fighters photographed before execution in Minsk, General Berserk, Belarus on October 26, 1941. These brave resistance fighters faced certain death. Their defiance against Nazi occupation demonstrated courage. Gavrilo Princip and other perpetrators of the Sarajevo assassination surrounded by guards in October 1914. Princip killed Archduke Franz Ferdinand, triggering World War I. His act changed world history forever. The conspirators faced trial for the assassination that sparked global conflict. Pampa, Texas, photographed in March 1943 by Jack Delano. This documentary image captures wartime small-town America. Delano worked for the Farm Security Administration documenting American life. His photographs preserved everyday existence during World War II's transformative period across the nation. Joseph Goebbels, Nazi propaganda minister, glares at the camera after learning photographer Alfred Eisenstadt was Jewish in 1933. This infamous image captured Goebbels' anti-Semitic hatred perfectly. Eisenstadt escaped Nazi Germany, later becoming a legendary Life magazine photographer documenting history worldwide. One of the rare photographs of a slave ship captured by Mark Ferrez in 1882. By this date, most nations had abolished the transatlantic slave trade. This haunting image documents the brutal human trafficking that continued illegally. The photograph provides crucial historical evidence. James Dean hangs from a railway car during Yeast of Eden production on location in Salinas, California in 1954. The rebellious actor embodied youth culture's restless spirit. Dean's method acting and intensity created iconic performances. Tragically, he died the following year. A Soviet partisan fighter armed to the teeth in German-occupied territory photographed in 1944. These resistance fighters operated behind enemy lines, disrupting Nazi operations. Heavily armed partisans conducted guerrilla warfare throughout Eastern Europe. Their courage proved crucial to Soviet victory and German defeat. First ironclad gunboat built in America, the St. Louis, photographed in 1862. This revolutionary warship featured armor plating protecting against enemy fire. Ironclads transformed naval warfare during the Civil War. The Union Navy's technological superiority helped control vital waterways throughout the conflict. Glass negative of a sleepover party in early 1900s Kansas, Junction City. The host was clearly well-to-do with 4 maids visible in the back. This photograph documents upper-class childhood leisure activities. The servant's presence highlights stark class divisions in American society. The first U.S. subway in New York City opened in 1904. This revolutionary underground transportation system transformed urban transit. The subway enabled city expansion and reduced street congestion dramatically. New York's subway became the largest rapid transit system in America eventually. Green Beret Captain Richard Flaherty, standing 4 feet 9 inches and weighing 97 pounds, stands beside 6 foot 6 inch Private First Class Nips in 1971. This remarkable height difference demonstrates military diversity. Flaherty's small stature didn't prevent his distinguished Special Forces career and leadership. 2 ladies walking down the street in pants are stared at by other people in November 1946. Women wearing trousers publicly challenged social norms. This fashion choice provoked disapproval and curiosity. Post-war society gradually accepted women's clothing freedom, expanding beyond traditional dresses. An Egyptian woman poses in her traditional clothes adorned with gold and silver in 1900. The elaborate jewelry and ornate costume demonstrate wealth and cultural heritage. Traditional Egyptian dress maintained ancient customs while incorporating Islamic influences. The photograph preserves disappearing cultural traditions beautifully. Members of the Communist Party of Burma manufacturing ammunition sometime during the 1970s. These guerrilla fighters produced weapons for their insurgency against Myanmar's government. The communist rebellion lasted decades. Gustav Husak of Czechoslovakia and Nicolae Ceausescu of Romania at Dacia car factory in Pitești, June 1977. These communist dictators inspected industrial production. The Dacia factory represented Eastern Bloc manufacturing. Both leaders would eventually fall during communism's collapse across Eastern Europe decades later. Soldiers share cigarettes in this candid photograph. Smoking provided brief respite from combat stress and danger. Cigarettes were essential military rations. This simple act of camaraderie strengthened bonds between soldiers facing death together. Tobacco connected warriors across generations and conflicts throughout military history. View of Grudziądz, Poland, photographed in 1928 by Henryk Podebski. This interwar Polish city enjoyed brief independence between world wars. The photograph captures urban architecture and daily life. Within decades, World War II would devastate Poland. These images preserve the vanished pre-war world. Bela Lugosi stars in The Raven from Universal Pictures circa 1935. The legendary horror actor terrified audiences with his intense performances. Lugosi's Hungarian accent and dramatic presence defined classic horror cinema. In 1993, 6 hikers trekking near Lake Baikal in Siberia were suddenly overcome with horrific symptoms. Blood streamed from their eyes and noses, they clutched throats and bashed heads against rocks. This mysterious incident remains unexplained, suggesting potential chemical or biological exposure. In March 1984, Gambino crime family boss Paul Castellano was arrested. This powerful mafia leader controlled organized crime operations throughout New York. Castellano's arrest preceded his infamous assassination outside Sparks Steakhouse in 1985. John Gotti orchestrated the murder, seizing family control. This is Gustav Hackinson, the Steel Grandpa, in his homemade No. 0 racing bib in 1951. The 66-year-old Swede unofficially entered the Sverigeloppet cycle race after being told he was too old. 5 days later, he finished a full day ahead. These elite assault troops pioneered modern close-quarters combat tactics. The feared RDD led dangerous attacks against enemy trenches. Their aggressive methods influenced future special forces operations worldwide throughout subsequent conflicts. A group of Italian RDD from an unidentified assault battalion, probably the XXV, photographed in 1918. These shock troops specialized in trench raids and hand-to-hand combat. The RDD's distinctive uniform and weaponry made them instantly recognizable. They embodied Italian military aggression. The execution of Sergeant Siflete in 1943. This Australian commando was captured and beheaded by Japanese forces. The horrific photograph documents war crimes committed against Allied prisoners. Such atrocities demonstrated the Pacific War's brutal nature. Siflete's murder symbolized Japanese military cruelty. Japanese troops in occupied Indonesia pose. This photograph demonstrates Japan's vast wartime territorial conquests across Southeast Asia. Soldiers marked their presence at geographic landmarks. Indonesia's occupation brought harsh Japanese military rule and widespread suffering to local populations. Here's a camouflaged Finnish road from 1941 where trees were suspended by ropes to hide the route from Soviet aircraft during World War II. This ingenious defensive measure concealed troop movements. Finland employed creative tactics fighting the Soviet invasion throughout the brutal Winter War. Japanese traders prepared for Soviet soldiers' arrival on South Sakhalin by preparing posters with Russian inscriptions and Soviet paraphernalia in August 1945. These preparations anticipated Soviet occupation after Japan's defeat. The pragmatic merchants adapted quickly to changing political realities and new authorities. When Nat King Cole's family moved to a wealthy white Los Angeles neighborhood in the late 1950s, they endured extreme racism. They had a cross burned in their yard, received multiple threats, and their family dog was poisoned. The family courageously stood their ground for decades. René Bury's photograph from West Germany in 1957. The Swiss photographer documented post-war European recovery and daily life. Bury's work captured the era's social and political tensions. His artistic eye revealed ordinary moments with extraordinary composition. The late great Rasputin with his wife photographed in 1914. The controversial mystic held enormous influence over Russia's royal family. Rasputin's debauchery and political meddling made him deeply unpopular. His assassination in 1916 failed, preventing Russia's revolutionary collapse and the Romanov dynasty's destruction. Mugshots of mafia hitmen Harry Strauss, Pittsburgh Phil, Harry Mayone, Happy, and Frank Abendando, the Dasher, from New York, March 29, 1940. These men were murder, Incorporated associates responsible for at least 400 and up to 1,000 contract killings throughout America. Archduke Franz Ferdinand in Cairo in 1896 pretending to be a mummy. The heir to Austria-Hungary's throne enjoyed traveling before his 1914 assassination. His murder triggered World War I. This playful photograph contrasts sharply with the tragedy his death would cause, devastating Europe completely. East German soldiers turned down handshake from West German citizen after the Berlin Wall's fall in 1989. These border guards maintained military discipline despite communism's collapse. The awkward moment captured the confusion and tension during Germany's reunification. Decades of division didn't disappear overnight completely. A butcher's shop from England hangs carcasses around its exterior during the 1930s. This traditional display demonstrated meat freshness and variety. Modern health regulations eventually banned such outdoor displays. The photograph documents pre-refrigeration era food retail practices that seem shocking by contemporary standards. Joan Blondell photographed during the 1930s. This Hollywood actress starred in numerous pre-code films featuring risque content. Blondell's talent and beauty made her a popular star. She epitomized Depression-era cinema's wisecracking, working-class heroines. Her career spanned decades across film, uniform worn by slaves who escaped colonists and fought for the British in exchange for freedom. During the American Revolution, Britain promised liberty to enslaved people who joined their forces. Thousands escaped seeking freedom. These black loyalists served courageously despite facing continued discrimination afterward. Stanley and Catherine McCormick, why a severely mentally ill man matters to the world. Stanley McCormick suffered from schizophrenia. His wife Catherine championed mental health research and women's rights. The McCormick fortune funded crucial scientific research. Their story illuminates mental illness's impact on families. Photo of Petr Brzica, Croatian war criminal. During World War II, Brzica committed horrific atrocities at Jasenovac concentration camp. He reportedly killed hundreds of prisoners using knives. Such brutal perpetrators demonstrated the genocide's systematic cruelty. Fencing at the Russian Tver Cavalry School photographed in 1905. Military officers trained in swordsmanship despite firearms dominating warfare. Traditional combat skills maintained aristocratic military culture. The photograph captures Imperial Russia's final years before revolution destroyed the Tsarist military establishment completely. Queen Elizabeth II meets Marilyn Monroe for the first and only time at a royal film premiere in London on October 26, 1956. Both women, born in 1926, were 30 years old. This iconic encounter brought together royalty and Hollywood glamour perfectly. Italian soldiers carry a cannon, a soldier, and a dog to a mountaintop in the Alps during World War I in 1915. This arduous effort demonstrated Alpine warfare's extreme challenges. Italian troops fought Austro-Hungarian forces in treacherous mountain conditions throughout the brutal conflict. Katharine Hepburn, arguably the first ever manic pixie dream girl in Bringing Up Baby from 1938, and no one has ever done it better. Hepburn's eccentric, free-spirited performance created the archetype. Her comedic timing and unconventional charm revolutionized female roles in Hollywood completely. Most British migrants between 1900 to 1960 took between 30 to 50 days reaching Australia by ships. This lengthy ocean voyage represented a one-way journey for most families. The difficult passage tested endurance. Immigrants left everything behind seeking opportunity in Australia's distant shores courageously. My grandpa in a black suit with his siblings circa 1930. His brother looks positively devious. This family photograph captures childhood personalities frozen in time. The mischievous expression suggests youthful rebellion. Such images preserve family history connecting generations through shared visual memories and stories. Former New Zealand Prime Minister Robert Muldoon appeared as the narrator in The Rocky Horror Show during a country tour in 1988. His pelvic thrust drew thunderous cheers from crowds. He and wife Thea posed with the cast. Russell Crowe is visible at right. The Mammoth, the world's biggest camera of its day, built by George R. Lawrence in 1900. This enormous photographic apparatus captured massive detailed images. The engineering marvel demonstrated photography's technological advancement. American pilots and P-40 Warhawks of the Flying Tigers in Burma photographed in 1941. These volunteer aviators defended China against Japanese aggression before America entered World War II. The Flying Tigers became legendary for their skill and distinctive shark-nosed aircraft paint schemes. This philosophical observation suggests perspective gained through elevation, both literal and metaphorical. Distance provides clarity impossible from ground level. The quote encourages stepping back to gain broader understanding beyond immediate circumstances. Judy Sullivan, lead biomedical engineer for the Apollo 11 mission, shown here during a training exercise in 1969. Sullivan's crucial work ensured astronaut safety and health monitoring. Female engineers contributed significantly to space exploration despite facing discrimination. Smith family with their little baby photographed in 1917 on glass negative. This fragile photographic medium preserved family memories for future generations. The formal portrait captured a moment before the child grew. Glass negatives required careful handling but produced exceptional image quality and longevity. Homicidal, Cagule, a ceremonial dancer during the Winter Dance ceremony photographed by Edward Curtis in 1914. Curtis documented Native American cultures facing destruction. His ethnographic photography preserved indigenous traditions for posterity. The dramatic image captures spiritual ceremonies' power and cultural significance before forced assimilation attempted destroying them.